Guys, what's the crack? Dinny here from Bitcoin with Dinny. I want to talk to you a little bit about the Bitcoin price and this bear market we just fell into, because it's going to be brutal. It's not really. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be the best opportunity for people who are getting into Bitcoin in the last 2-3 years of their life. They will look back at this as a generational opportunity, and hopefully you can play it right. So the first thing I'll say is, if you worry when Bitcoin's price comes down, then that is a direct signal that you've more work to do. You haven't read enough books, you haven't taken enough courses, you haven't consulted with the right people, okay? Because you don't yet understand the thing. You're putting your money into something that you don't really understand, okay? The better you understand Bitcoin, the less risky you deem it to be. That's something I've seen, not just with myself personally, with hundreds and hundreds of consultations that we've done at the Bitcoin with Dinny office here in Swords, Ireland's first Bitcoin consulting company. Little plug, if you need help, if you want to do better with the technical stuff or all the fundamental stuff, give us a shout. We can make sure you don't make the mistakes that most people have to go through, and therefore, as I say to people, the net cost of education is zero, because you waste more money on mistakes and bad decisions and bad timing than you ever will on paying someone to teach you how to get it all right. That's just been my experience as well, personally, with everything I've done in life. So we got to get more educated on Bitcoin, because if it's an investment asset, and I suppose I should say, not financial advice, I'm not a financial advisor, help you understand the fundamentals, help you understand the technical side of things, so you can make a better decision. But if you're happy with the fundamentals and you're in your Bitcoin journey 2, 3, 4, 5 years, you're in what's called accumulation phase. 6 years, you're probably still in accumulation phase. 7 years, probably still in it. And therefore, if something is 30% cheaper and you're in a phase of your investment cycle where you've got to accumulate as much as the damn thing as possible, when it's 30% cheaper, you should hop out of bed so happy and not be one bit unhappy. Now, if you don't have a strong investment thesis and you've got capital tied up in the wrong assets, the wrong things, they're going to suffer, and you're going to be bleeding out, and you're going to be in pain, and that's just sort of consequences of bad decisions in this market, or consequences of lack of education. As I said, zero net cost with education, and I'm not saying that to sort of twist the knife if you're down and bleeding really hard, and you realise that break-even point is miles away, and what do you do? It's a horrible situation to be in. This is why learning how to become an investor is so important, so you can manage risk. I'm not a Bitcoin maximalist. Bitcoin is just Bitcoin. It's just an asset, okay? I use other assets as well, and I manage my risk. All right, and depending on what stage of life you're in will depend on how much risk you should tolerate. And most people have no idea how any of this stuff works, so they just buy 1 or 2 things that their friend told them about, and they get absolutely wrecked when they have a generational opportunity here to build on digital collateral and accumulate it to, if they want asymmetric returns, meaning even higher returns, they've got company plays that are backed by Bitcoin. So if you understand the fundamentals of Bitcoin and you're long Bitcoin and you want to leverage Bitcoin, the option's there. And yeah, people scream, oh, this, that, the other will blow up. None of this matters. It's a risk-managed approach. It's your money. You make the decisions how you fit. But man, I see so much opportunity right now. Right now, there's so much opportunity. In 4 or 5 years' time from today, people will talk about this period. And I don't know how long this period will last. Will it last months? Maybe it'll last a year. Who knows? Maybe it was only last weeks. But hindsight will always be 2020. And as I said to you, if 100 grand is the new 10 grand, right? We'll walk that story back. When Bitcoin was 12 grand and it dropped back to 10 grand. Today, if you're talking to someone and it says, oh, I bought Bitcoin at 12 grand, then it went to 10, and they're giving out to you saying this, and you don't own Bitcoin, let's say, or you're trying to accumulate Bitcoin, you're like, you got it at 12 grand. Oh my God, you're so lucky. How did you do that? And you're like, nah, but it dropped to 10. then it dropped to 9,100. Today, in hindsight, it's like, what a gift. I would have bought it as much as I could at 12 grand. I would have bought as much as I could at 15 grand. I would have bought as much as I could at 10 grand. But we don't look at that. We only think in the present because we don't understand the asset. Whereas someone who's accumulating Bitcoin at 10 grand was accumulating it because they were possibly convinced this thing will add another zero. It will go to 6 figures, 100K. And that seemed like a pipe dream. I remember saying it and people laughed at me. But I had absolute conviction. Once I understood it, once I'd done enough, I read enough Bitcoin books, I took enough Bitcoin courses, and I'd done enough consulting with as many experts as I could find and pay for. I learned very fast. And some people don't learn fast. They take some years to learn, and therefore they crucify their returns. Because they waste years. They waste 5 years on mistakes. And now today, in 2020, they realise what they could have, would have, should have done, and they shouldn't have bought all those altcoins. I hate when I give digs like that because it's not constructive. But maybe it is constructive if it's helping you learning. Anyway, aside from the point, you get the idea. If Bitcoin at 100 grand is the way Bitcoin was at 10 grand 5-6 years ago, well, guess what? In 5-6 years, everyone's going to think you got lucky. Everyone's going to wish they were able to get Bitcoin at 126 grand, the all-time high currently, or 100 grand, or 91 grand, or whatever we are today. They will wish. They'll be like, you were so lucky. You'll be like, I remember those days. It was not lucky. When I was buying something, and the price kept going down. It's difficult. But that is why investing is difficult. It's not for everyone. Most people can't do it because they won't do it in community. They try and DIY it. One of the biggest ways to fail. They won't get any proper education. One of the biggest ways to fail. Okay? And they'll underestimate how difficult it is. So they won't be able for the market volatility, and realizing that all the best decisions in investing are difficult. They're never easy. It's not easy to deploy your capital into Bitcoin now because you're like, where's the bottom? Where's this thing going to fall? How far is it going to go? Fundamentals, what's it look like? Like, is this a floor? Is there a floor here? Where are the floors? Where should I deploy the capital? Like, the decisions are always difficult in the moment. In hindsight, in 5 years' time, I believe, not financial advice of course, but I believe it'll be the easiest decision on the planet to have bought your Bitcoin at around 100,000. And you'll be deemed as someone super lucky and super fortunate, and how easy life was for you. That's the irony, guys. If you're in the thick of it, you're in the battle, if you're in the war, hit the like button, throw a comment in. Let me know your investment thesis. And if you need help with any of this stuff, knowing, where to buy so you don't get scammed, or how to store so you don't lose it, or building your investment thesis, or just understanding the asset, or just to meet someone in person and build a plan for you. Or if you have a traditional pension, you want to understand how to get that exposed to the highest performing asset class on the planet, check out bitcoinwithdinny.com. You can meet my team for absolutely free. Worst case scenario, you'll understand a little more about the asset and how to play the strategy. Best case scenario, you'll be working with us. And now we're going to help you retire early. So, guys, have a super day. Thanks for being here. Dinny out. Make sure you hit the like button, push the algorithm, and share this video with a few of your friends who are into crypto. And hopefully they'll ask Santi for a Bitcoin book.